make our way in just a little bit.
I think my biggest pinpoint that I would look at in Fracture are Jonah and Flya. I want to see how the KO reacts to the utility and to the environment around them in the play. If both of these teams opt to go for an attack that's very fast, that might not be enough room for someone like KO to use that 0 point effectively. And when a lot of the executes for the attack comes in the pinch maneuvers or even kind of going to that underpass underbelly of B site, the 0 point and KO's utility as a whole might not be nearly as effective. But KO also has that null command, and that could shut down the entirety of a site. So that might be a good offset, but how often are we going to see the null command come out?
I mean, if you get ideally once every 8 rounds, if you're not really getting much, right? So that's the overall stats breakdown of it. But we can talk about that later. What I do want to be able to see is what these teams do. Now, on Team BreakThru side, it's a 3-2. It's a 3-2 standard defense. What I would be curious is how much attention they pay to arcade, and especially now on OR side as well too. They're going for a pretty similar split. It's the commitment is what matters for where they really put in all the resources.
Yeah, and this is already looking like a slow round beginning for OR. Spike not dedicated just yet. Will be picked up though by Raze. Otherwise, though, I want to focus on Nilly. Having that potential anti-flank watch there for that maybe split push if this B side execute doesn't work out for OR side. There is a contingency plan. There is a way to save it all. But BreakThru, the majority of them are stacked up outside A main looking for that impact, but no one's there except for maybe the single tripwire.
And now through this one's put down. The tripwire is enough. Zeldris gets spotted. And so they'll leave them inside the Sacrifice. You know where to go out. But up, we're on the sites, and a Proto holds it down. That's the kind of anchor you want on your ship on a round like this. Lives Nilly by himself in a 4v5. He has a cage, but I can't imagine he wants to invest it. It'll just be him against the rest of BreakThru.
Yeah, only that cyber cage would really be used if you want to rotate towards tower, but all options were off from there. Thief gets the final KO, and BreakThru win that opening round. And I gotta say, you know, a Proto was the mini MVP of this first round. Cyber Cage into the tripwire, Zeldris caught off guard. Everyone else forced to face 1v1s, but a Proto, he made those the Radiant boxes just like an absolute circus for him. Just played around with it so much, and it was all an environmental play. That's what you want to see on the defense. But going into the next round, a bit of a split push again. It's actually the inverse for OR. Instead, now Nilly's hiding her out towards A side, waiting to see, will there be any aggressive plays through and through? But Sim and company are ready and waiting.
The knife, I believe, managed to tag on all 4 of them, and they're pushing out aggressively against one another too. Playing around Dish, that's 3 taken, even with the concuss. And OR, their effective rush gets rushed back. So the counter strat is beautiful. And now leaving Nilly last one alive once again.
Where have I seen this before?
Probably last round.
Oh.
And a flawless, but this time though is what's different.
2-0. You're absolutely right. The flawless round from BreakThru. And to be honest, BreakThru haven't really had to step far out of their boundaries of the site. They've just been able to stick on A and B respectively and just push up a teeny tiny bit and mow down OR. But those are the opening 2 rounds. We've seen big turnarounds from teams that have been able to lose those opening 2. And once Rifles get in their hands, it turns into a very different story. Rather this time than having that 4-1 split, it's actually OR stacking up as a group outside of Arcade. But BreakThru again, you can see on the mini-map, seems like Fly is already prepped up and ready. Proto's on the other side with that full utility close to the site. Just ready and waiting to see what that next strike can be. But they actually back off site. The 0 point does detect where Fly's location is. It's a matter, though, of just hiding away, playing for this 1v, potentially 4, excuse me.
So they'll use a native tower to just to force Flya back. But now with this, they're hoping to perhaps even draw more attention. But you see OR, right? They're still kind of meandering right outside of B. And all pretty much stacked up as 4, hoping to see if they do manage to get one here as well. Because Fly needs to be cleared out before they can confidently enter the site. Meanwhile, Nilly wants to get into the lurk, and he gets Sim. Luck finally pays off. So now Team BreakThru has some choices to make, but Fly with the concuss Gets one of his own, and now OR. See, there were two taken away. They have to try to enter. Proto once again past the flash. Inside the corner, takes two of his own. And OR are not even allowed to see what B site looks like.
Yeah, they still have no idea. It's like buying a house and just not even seeing the interior just yet. BreakThru. Good for the Flawless so far, and I have an interesting stat for you, Rev.
What's that?
It's small right now, but it's like a seedling. It's gonna grow. Proto has so far gained all six of his frags just from sitting on B main, just waiting, playing so reactively to OR. And I really thought the turnaround would be there when Nilly got that lurking kill, but the answer is no. Instead, it was just a push through from OR, and they just got down again. But this time it's a little disenfranchised, not quite the lurk as we saw before. Instead, two separate lurks from outside B and A respectively. Oh.
And what? And once again, Proto changed up his position a tad, but it's Flya this time to take it. Lear, if he bleeds on him, and Flya blows him a kiss and takes him out.
Look at the response here. The travel in the underbelly. A bit of a sneaky snake maneuver here.
Sneaky. But they may not be sneaky enough, though. As this time, they managed to join up as three, and they have to wait for the smoke to dissipate before effectively walking in. But Flash out of the setup, and Flya because repositioned to tower. So, although he doesn't catch anybody there, but the jump peek works out. Now he has to get out. Peeks in. What a transfer from Flya! No ace though, but team BreakThru. Beautiful hold.
Still no effective take of the site just yet. 4 rounds in, already a tack timeout. This is the fastest tack timeout we have seen on stream for Open Qual so far. And I don't blame them. OR keep trying their best, whether it be B main, arcade, any sort of angle possible to just take B site. But they play directly into the claws of not only Flya here, and we see in the replay, a 4K that round, good lord. But on top of that, 0 deaths so far for a Proto doing the same exact thing, playing hockey goalie. On B site, just ready for anyone to push in. And these have been slow executes from OR too. When you have a raise and a brimstone to accompany you, you're expecting to see maybe a big gigantic blast pack onto a site. But those Cypher utils, the tripwires, it's stopping OR in their tracks.
Dude, calling him a hockey goalie would be in comparison saying how if the goalie, instead of saving the puck, he shot the pucks back. Like, yeah, he's chilling in goal. He's like, no, I'm not the one who needs to be saved. I am the danger. And so he just takes the stick in the net and shoots it himself, man. But aside from the similes we're making, what matters right now is how OR adapt instead. You know, so far it's just been kind of just walking into sites and hoping that the peek outs early on, they managed to win. But with how far BreakThru has been, they're instead, you know, still with 3-2. But this time, attacking the same site.
It's a split push this time, though. At first, I thought it was going to be a lurk with Pure only, but now that Nilly's joined them, this is the first one we've seen. Utility early on, not connecting from OR's side. There's still the neural threat to potentially see. That would require someone BreakThru to go down. It hasn't happened just yet. No contact has been made. Meanwhile, though, BreakThru, those who are on A, they're going on their own adventure. They shoot down the Cypher cam. Might make OR a little nervous. They're hiding in underbelly now. They group up with the rest of the team.
Launching smoke.
Pure's rotating back over. These are fake smokes over towards A. And everyone's starting to rotate.
They're hoping to keep their attention here, and B says it's almost cleared out. It's just a Proto just maintaining his distance and waiting to see if anybody does manage to walk in. But Brock is still as well underneath neutral, waiting for the rest of OR who have yet to actually break through the site. Instead, they're all just cutting noise and slow playing it, waiting. So they're likely just caterpillar in and make space for them to walk in a site, but they're going to be concussed as soon as that happens.
Exec off 30. The aftershock, the fragment grenade, no one can move. There's no sense of movement at all.
No one did, and they don't need to at all. Because look at this. Because they didn't get tagged by any of the util, the flashes barely connects as well. And so now they take the gunfights. Our Proto has also joined up with them, but the spike is dropped. They have 10 seconds. OR! A play that seemed to succeed, but Team BreakThru holds strong. Not a single centimeter of movement.
A team ace, no less, Rav. And, you know, we have the gift of seeing both teams. We're not in the minds of the players. So what I can only assume was that OR going for the fake smokes on A site, they waited so long for that execute, they must have assumed maybe that BreakThru rotated from A and then back to B, which is when OR would go for the strike.
Yes.
But they called the bluff for OR. Oh, BreakThru is stuck on A side instead. And now a Proto's switching up the utility, hiding on A side now. And this is directly where OR think the weak spot's gonna be. Playing into Proto's game so much.
A Proto this time feeling confident. Oh, is the plan over? But luckily no one's there to hear him, so it's a quick rotate, and now it's a walk-in. A Proto's all the way back in spawn, but Tripwire actually wasn't blocking close, but the camera was though, so now he's commenting all his teammates like, yo, homies, they're all here. Let's start it up. And the aftershock connects, but the spike still goes down. Jonah gives his life for eye. Oh, nice wall bang. But Zeldris full flashed. Has for somebody to pop through.
Zeldris!
No one's there. He's waiting. He's hoping. And he runs out of time. He shoots it. He doesn't get anybody. And now Brock finds his time to peek through. The second, the concuss is beautiful. Brock with the setup. All by himself. And it's a flawless.
In what reality does that not connect? The showstopper should have been good for at least one. There were four directly within its path. And yet it didn't connect to anybody. Yes, I would love to see a replay of this. Aftershock takes down Jonah. A great angle to make it difficult for BreakThru to push up for the retrade, but look at this. More Brock there for the back lines. At best, Rev, Lear is leading OR right now with 2 kills on the board. And not a single round in their name.
This is a tough start if you are OR currently, right? On a map of Fracture, which is your pick, right? So you're hoping to possibly catch the BreakThru off by surprise, a newer squad, but this is fun. He's rolling Thunder pretty early on, but nobody's actually there. All he touches on B, and finally, Zeldris finds a space inside. No one there to stop him. Brock couldn't do nothing there. And the spike gets planted.
And look at this, the immediate ejection from site. OR playing for that rolling thunder, waiting to see when the spike will make contact. Everyone else from BreakThru on the canteen angle. Zeldris there to be the primary force of contact. Aftershock doesn't connect, but the fault line does. Zeldris is stuck.
He's running, he's pushing at him. Woohoo! That was almost close, but it's a Proto. Off against 3 and getting 2 by the end of it. And the rest, they know exactly where they're at. They just come from one another. BNS ducks into a corner. Lear's now gone. BNS to take 2. The flash of the setup. Peek out. And he gets him. OR with their first.
And we're going to have to wait and see until we get to the next round, but I'm pretty sure that was a Proto's... Was it? Was it his first? It was his first death.
Yeah.
7 rounds in. His very first death. But I mean, that was a great round from OR. They went for that fast exec. They called the bluff yet again at BreakThru, this time in their own favor. And now there's a lot of options on the board. Don't forget, too, that BreakThru have never publicly played this map before, at least in open quals. They have yet to have any appearance. There's nothing the VOD review be going up against them.
Well, everybody right now gotta pay close attention to what they say. The knife goes up to the other side of spawn. Does not catch Nelly there. And we're back once again to this 4-person push. Cam spot's been changed just slightly though. And they're now double stacked up, looking at Link.
Oh. These tripwires set up so deep for sight, looking for maybe or even a retake off of the info there.
Ooh. The Molly managed to get Zeldris to really looking entry, but from here, there's 1 is on site, there's 2 still all the way on the outside. Lear actually doesn't go down, but there is the big fire pit for the sky. They'll clear everybody, but now OR make the way in. Yeah, it's a chaotic round, but if you look at the end, OR, you know, once the Brimalt actually managed to force everybody back, it's with the entry, And Nilly takes his time. It's a 1v1. It's him against Brock. And Nilly with the clutch.
A game of ciphers, holding down B side one team or another. I mean, that was just every ult in the book. The only thing that survived was that orbital strike from OR. Pure hasn't used it yet, but everything else in the book was. And here we go, Nilly, great double kill at the end there. You want to hear a fun fact?
Well, of course.
Well, a lot of our newer viewers might not know this, but Flya's weapon, the Vandal, had this white glow around it. Both champions, the Vandal, the knives that go with it, and the Phantom. If you are the top frag of the entire lobby, not just your team, it glows this brilliant white glow that you won't see from any other weapon.
Yeah, very cool. Big fan. But that's a big knife.
Yeah, that's
A
huge.
main lockdown, so they can naturally read the early position, but from here, you know, it'll be hard to think and try to surmise where they might be rotating towards. But from here, none of team broke through. Immediately breaks away. Nice flick. Straight shots beautiful from Sim. But OR, though, are not stopping.
No, and losing Nilly's not going to be a great case either. There's no flank watch utility anymore. They're forced to dedicate on the site.
Defensive smoke walking in. Oh! Almost had him if he wasn't full flashed. And a step that's not coming in to allow Zetos to do his thing. We see Leader popping off. The orbital strike and conjecture. And once again, they get the spike down. There's no aftershock here to stop this. But it's 3v4.
Full side control. Zeldris good for yet another. Only 2 left alive for breakthrough and separated out. They have to sandwich their way back on the site for a 2-1.
They watch the angle. There's no flashes present. Brock. What a swing. Near cloud Zeldris there. Now Jonah stuck at the bottom. Not able to get much more. Forced to one angle, but he wins the fight. It's so big and a flyer 1v2. Just one flash remaining, but it's out an open angle. So he's gonna have to pretty much stick this. They see, and it's stuck. But only till half.
And that was off of losing the opening to pick 2, OR. Most other teams, they would have rotated out after losing out Nilly, but instead, they stuck to their guns and they went for the fast exec. Finally now, Zeldris waking up a little bit this game, finding more impact now, top of the leaderboard at that. These are the fast amounts of entries that we were talking about at the beginning of this game, what we were expecting to see. And now, typically when we were looking at the past for like Neon, we would have seen that a lot more, but this is a lot more of a team-centric open quals, and Zeldris still playing with the team, still going fast, but albeit slower, is important. Speaking of which, Zeldris goes super fast here, supersonic speed, but there's no impact.
Showstopper delay with the molly and the nade, and shot blind, not able to catch anybody at all. So they know they cleared all the bottom, and now Thief as well has to back away past the aftershock as well. Brock now shot down, gets 2. What a pick! One tucked in the corner, and he makes his way out alive. They thought they had him, but they were locked in the sight with him.
Oh, and we just talked about how great the aggressive entry was for OR, and immediately breakthrough. They counter-stratted, and they completely shut it down before the round could even really start. 7-3 though. A minor comeback for 3 rounds in a row for OR, but with 2 still left to determine how things could go. We could see the 9-3 curse, or we may be able to see a much more competitive 7-5 scoreline, but however it may break down, breakthrough are playing so reactively, and OR, it's been a battle trying to figure out how they can stay on the aggression till the end of the round. And look at this setup from breakthrough. Top of satellite, the Boombot, looking for any semblance of info, won't be there. So there won't be an aggressive push just yet. But outside of B, it's a different story. The Proto might be stuck.
I mean, last time we said that our Proto just got 2 out of nowhere, but yeah, this is an angle where you were hoping that somebody walks in, helps you out, a huge flash, and nobody's stuck. It's the rest of OR who've been sandwiched in. And it's looking like right now they got celiac disease with the way they're trying to get out of all this bread. A Proto saw one though.
Caught me off guard.
I know, I'm sorry. But the Jonah 6 as well is left. But the ship wanted to go through. Oh, but they're making us all a fake. It was a diversion. As the Aparo also get diverted. It's 2v2 by the end of the engagement.
And look at this. Only real map control of the stairs, Sim. Pop shots. The null command raining
Spike
through
planted.
has ended. The utility's now back, and look at Sim. Almost full util. The paint nade's devastating.
Double flash, but it's enough for him to reposition. And Venus up a tower, sees the angle. No! Sim can't get it! And it's just Brock left alive. It's one more flash, but then knows exactly where he is. He has to full walk in. It's because VNS, a straight shot, it connects! And Brock, big man, B-R-A-W-K, takes it home.
You gotta put some respect on the name. That is Break Brock to you, sir. Holy. What a clutch. A beautiful one at that. The reactive playstyle continuing on like it's nobody's business. No matter how dominant OR look at the beginning of the round, however little people there are on site, it doesn't matter. BreakThru, as if like magic, used their utility to just completely sandwich everyone through, suffocate them away, to minimize what angles they can achieve.
Here.
And now with
the last
OR
round.
on the save, yeah. It's there. It's kind of a half buy, right? So that's gonna
Broken
be some
buy.
bulldogs, judges. I'm always a big fan, but hey, knife shot out early on, so at least don't have the info. But look how far up Sim is going. He has the support of the flashes there as well, and one more person to peek off of it. But it's only peek first, and Cuss doesn't land. But that's only one taken. OR is more than okay, but they force him off the angle. And Brock, instead, the Chad that he is, decides to re-peek against 3.
3v3. OR forced to disengage themselves, licking their wounds as they make that mad dash over towards B, but there's still pressure on Satellite. That pressure, though, alleviated. The gushing wound. Everyone else waiting around on different parts of the site. You would think that Flyer might be AFK, but I think he's just waiting for the rope play, but no one's there. Instead, now the two buns of the sandwich have been made.
Right here.
And OR might be finding themselves as that lettuce and meat in the middle. All 1v1s. Thief, though, has the right idea. Smoke dissipates. Good for one.
Right here. Right here.
The thing is, Max, what do you got? 2 right there. And right now, it seems like Thief is hungry. Fox will be able to take that home, and seems like that burger's gonna be charbroiled to perfection with an orbital strike like that. A 9-3 half.
9-3. Maybe the curse will come by, but for a team that has had no info, no public play of Fracture, it's been a heck of a performance so far. A crazy cleanup, and a lot of that has to do with both Fly and a Proto. I love the holds that we had seen on B, and over again, OR were using that as their opportunity to hopefully push a site. Somewhat easier than dropping down from Satellite. 2 different opportunities to push into a site, but equally shut down almost every single time. And now we swap sides. 3 rounds at the hands of OR. Pistols in hand, not a single member of their team, even up to double digits in kills, and yet Break Brock there, 14-7, a 2.0 KD. Going for the same strats that we had seen OR try to employ early on too.
The person moving to sight. Oh, that would have worked if that was anything but a shorty. Jonas has to reposition. He gets 2 for his troubles. No shot, bro. I know shorties do their thing, but damn.
That's wild. Wild plays. But what do you do when you're BreakThru and you're down a body? Thief, well, hiding around the black Radianite box, looking to maybe see there's a weapon disadvantage though, and Brock all the same. It's a frenzy in hand. Good for the shot. Zell just falls, and all that's left now is a 2v2. And now it's down to 1.
He runs against him. He catches him as well, forcing to back off, sees the reposition, and it's just an aim battle. And Nilly with the ghost, his shots go a little bit clean and a little bit farther. And he'll get the defuse. OR, a much needed pistol.
Very much needed. Can't be understated. Now the economy can look a little bit better. They have that buy-up advantage going into the next round, and that's usually where it starts, right? It's been the common theme for us casting these last few days is that usually teams, they have to rely heavily on this opening pistol and the buy-up to maintain a future in open qualifiers. And if they don't, it's a make or break moment. But for BreakThru, they have nothing but Sheriffs, a single classic for Thief's End. maintaining their economy, maybe for something a little bit larger than the Classic in a few rounds, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes by. But this is a very, very broken up attack for BreakThru. They're really looking for info.
In BreakThru now, all join up as 3, Knife not catching anybody close. And so they'll just stack up as 1, leaving a Proto to lurk on the other side by spawn naturally. But OR though, almost a very similar approach, right? It's a 3-2 split, and the 3 are pretty far up here, right? 1 up by tower, VNX tucks into the corner, but the concuss is there, but that's both traded. And so with the trade of util, they'll choose to try to tuck under tunnel, but not before taking 3 of their lives. Team BreakThru, remember, this is their save. And a start like this is exactly what you need if you want to put them up, put them to 10. Ooh.
Oh, a duel. Zeldris looking to clear out the top of tower. Nilly's there down below yet again. Both these Cyphers taking full control of B site, and Sim does it again to shut it down. Double digits now for BreakThru in the first game of the series. They only need 3 more to bring things to ascent.
And because that was, of course, OR's bonus, right? So they now have to save up here. They have to have full save, likely putting BreakThru up to 11, the penultimate round before match point. So the way we're looking at it, it's a great start, and I gotta say, BreakThru played that really solidly, especially considering that they were concussed after the initial engagement. So they didn't take their picks and put out some solid licks.
Shutting them down.
And look at the respect given by BreakThru at the beginning of this round. They understand that OR are going to be on a big thrifty round, and yet there's no aggression coming from the defensive side. Oh, well, that gives full permission to push in aggressively now, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's easy to walk in, and this is the same hole that we saw OR do previously against them, but now BreakThru is the one who found themselves on the site, so it's almost like we're seeing the exact same sort of positions. We've seen them put up before, but our Proto this time, though, is walking around a bit, seeing if he can find anybody at all, and shouldn't make contact with anyone just yet, but with the 2 members of OR, they know they have to walk in, and they found 1.
Look at the slow crawl from Joni here on sand. Zeldris 2 on the other side. Doing what they can with the small amount of utility they have, but it's not enough. Zeldris down to 1. Has to fight 2 different bodies, but Fly is so low on HP.
Ooh! Wait, he could do this. It's 1 shot, but luckily goes and back, gets the reload. And Thief strafing back and forth and back and forth. That time he needs to move back and puts OR back.
I mean, look, you go back and watch this match in the future, you might think this is a little bit more of a stomp, but honestly, a lot of these rounds have come really close. Down to 1v1s, just like we had seen last round. But that economy damage that's being applied to BreakThru, it hasn't hurt them. Even if it did end with a narrow, thrifty win, it's all rifles, yeah, but this still means that OR, if they lose this next round, they might be going to the very ending round of Fracture on a save.
This is a crucial round for OR. If they want to be able to have a future on this map, right, this has to be it. Or trade from both ciphers, but that alt there is even bigger. Right, all the information that's immediately given over, but Sim not being able to win that might hurt them the most. And now they're giving up almost everything in terms of space that they possibly had. And it leaves 1v4 Thief. Can you do this? The answer is no.
I would argue this is the most important round of the entire series, at least thus far. That defuse, keeping OR in the game, keeping their economy afloat, and now BreakThru, very likely on a broken buy into the next, could allow an opportunity for OR now to gain at least a few more rounds before getting into that same exact boat again. Now, I want to throw some stats at you, Rav.
Okay.
OR have played this map a few different times.
Okay.
But their attack and defense win percentage is virtually identical. They, before this map, have won 65% on the attack and 67 on the defense. So for OR, that 2% difference is really coming in clutch right now.
I mean, sometimes 2% is the difference between 88 and 90. and you know 90s is where it's at.
That's an A.
Exactly.
88's a B.
It's an A plus in Canada, in fact.
Oh, lucky you.
I know, right? But if anything right now, I know OR is looking to rack up more A pluses for themselves. Orbital Strike and Rolling Thunder traded. Along with more concusses and every single ultimate thrown on the board. But it only results in 4 people stunned and 2 people gone.
That Orbital Strike is going to be so important for OR here. Clearing out whatever space they can.
Flash alongside that, Orbital Strike in conjunction. That's up by tower, but the rest of OR now are walking into 3v3. All tucked in the corners of the rest of Team BreakThru, but against the concussed, they can't win it. It's trades galore, now putting it to a 1, but he's holding it. Lear, they have to swing him. He peeks back, he gets it to half. And now it's Brock against Lear. Can Brock do it again, or will Lear show him up? The strafe, and Brock puts the B in BreakThru. Match point for them.
Now for OR, they have to not only double their points, but gain just a few more on top of that, but not all is lost. It's a somewhat not great buy, light shields abound, but at least there's still rifles, and plus, OR, they have their no command. They have themselves their Rolling Thunder, and they have attack timeout to work with. And, you know, I gotta say, OR's defensive positioning isn't bad. It's a matter of just, you know, letting that utility ride and being caught up in the midst of it. We're seeing a lot of those paint nades find so much anti-spacing. A breakthrough, you could say, for the attacking team to get onto a site. But it's those end-game engagements. Again, the 1v1s have, for the most part, I guess you could say, maybe 12 out of 17 times, have gone in BreakThru's favor.
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad, right? Considering how it's small engagements. But you mentioned previously how with a lot of these rounds tending out to be chaotic, right? It's just the prospect of surviving at times, which is really all we can count on for either one of these sides. Now, BreakThru's more than happy taking early trades, but you know, OR though, when they come in for the side retakes, it becomes increasingly tougher where they now go in for individual peaks and against the flashes and the concusses, the fault lines, and everything else, right? You're hoping they just survive by the end of this.
You can't trade this round if you're OR. You need as many bodies as you can for even a victory. And there we go, Sim. Full on blasting the site, double blast back straight into the no command.
Big knife. Sim also takes a bunch of shots. Woo, George just backs off. That actually could have been a kill, but so that puts the molly, and 1 tick is all he needs. A Rolling Thunder from OR's side. Water transfer, everybody taken down in tower. And the buildings fall, the structural integrity of Team BreakThru gives away 1 more round.
You could not ask for a better round for OR. The reactive plays, even on a broken buy, using the no command right on the cue of the entry, was such a great play from Jonah. Making sure that Sim was shut down, and not only that, predicting the showstopper would come out, predicting where BreakThru's play would be, the execute, all shut down so quickly. But there is a hitch, there is a problem. BreakThru still has a no command of their own, and postured outside A, possibly very aggressively. They're looking to make that utility from Cypher shut down so hard. Or not. Cypher's too far away.
They just, although they get caught by the rope, but remember, this is, once again, a save, so that's why running so aggressively. Arturo tries to go for the knife. He couldn't get it. Oh, runs out of bullets, but the trades are insane. Remember, this is just Sheriffs and Brock to put it down to 2v2. These saves have been wild before, and they've now got Vandals in their hands as though nothing happened, but Nilly has the upward angle. That's him up top, watching down below. These dance crawl through. That's Brock once again in a 1v2. Now I gotta see here, Brody. What can you do?
Fault line in just a few seconds. Once the 0 point goes away, he'll have utility for the 1v1.
And in 2 seconds here, Max, in just 2 seconds, as he gets the fault line back. Now he hits a certain angle, but look at this. All the way to the other side, Nilly. He's looking to go up against him, and Nilias will not go down so quietly. OR survive for another round.
I don't know what deal with the Devil OR have made, but they're making this comeback so aggressive. Each of these rounds again, ending with a 1v1. I don't think we've seen this tense of a series yet in open quals. And we're only on map 1.
I'm just happy we finally get a back and forth game to cast. That's all.
Me too. As a color caster, it is a very, very fun part of my brain. But it ends in these 1v1s. OR banking on these diffuses every single round. All but one. That 0 point from Flya. Where will it go? And that could go directly nowhere. Oh, interesting. Well, it does land right in B main. At least one does. Oh, there it is. That was a late 0 point.
No, bear in mind, it was just the last round, and they got guns this time. So, Sim is okay, no double blast pack, and that makes a space for us to walk in, and Ilias looking to walk in through main, and he gets stopped in his tracks. His sight is now gone. A 3v5 as a result, and they still have a Protoss neural theft.
This is a tough call to be in for OR right now. All separated out, very little tradability. They're making the push in. Utility now being brought out, so much spacing being denied.
All they gotta do is after that, right? Just deny it, but they're not walking in. Spike Diffusion's gone, and it's just Brock to get the final. All wrapped in like a beautiful calzone, and BreakThru takes a big bite. They're now up 1-0, looking to go towards finals.
What a heartbreaking end for OR there. Just as the comeback was ramping up all of its velocity, it was shot down in its path. But for BreakThru, consistency was the name of the game. I mean, especially for their defensive start, it was a completely different game. Over and over, we saw shutdown after shutdown on B site, and there was no opportunities for OR to make a comeback. But when the sides swapped, it was a very, well, somewhat of a different story. It almost became one, but it's one of those tales where we'll have to wait to see if it continues on for map number 2.
Only one more map remains between Team BreakThru and going to finals for tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see if that does happen, or we'll be seeing our first map 3 of the day. Stick around and find out.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.
Finally, you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented SetX technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each SetX anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of SetX thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Two teams, one map, and potentially the tournament lives on the line for the next 7 days. Welcome back to Challenges. I'm Ravish, joined here by Keg. And we're now once again looking at another phenomenal game between Team OR and BreakThru. Fracture was a hot start, but now we have Ascent.
I mean, what's there to say, right? It's the battle of 100% yet again. This time, though, BreakThru was not shown at all for Fracture, but they've made a heck of a lot of appearances on Ascent for the next map. 4-0. 4 times, 4 wins, 100%, and they have looked really good. But for OR, they've had that showing on Fracture. They had the attempted comeback at the very end for their own defensive side. Just wasn't enough, though. But maybe map 2 could be a return around.
Entirely possible, but both these teams, though, are naturally really comfortable on Ascent. I believe, Max, you mentioned that they had very favorable win percentages on Ascent as well so far throughout OQs. So that on its own stands as a pretty positive stat, but actually one team can win. And with that being said, it's momentum definitely on the favorite team BreakThru, right? They started off phenomenally, but at least by the end, Team OR made it close, but I cannot give it up to either side just yet. I'm just excited to get into the game.
I want to get into the game too. I'm curious to see what the comps look like. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the compositions that we've seen for Ascent, at least so far for open quals, haven't really changed a whole lot. And to be fair, from previous data that we've got, the agent compositions are pretty standard too, so we may very well go for 2 maps in a row that have mirror compositions. Tom, to be honest, if it's anything like we just saw in Fracture, I wouldn't mind it. I would love to see the true extent of who can play the better agent on both sides. Now, I have a question for you before we get into agent select. What do you think the better Cypher was that last game?
I'm a little bit biased because a Proto follows me on Twitter.
Fair enough.
That's why. Yeah. And also I met him and he's a very cool guy. So he's very nice and he high-fived me. He did say he would give me one of his ghost hoodies when he had them. He never did, but I still like him. Also, his stash is gorgeous. So there's that.
It's better than ours.
Way nicer, bro.
We're
It's
trying.
So one
Wash
day
our
it's
face.
okay.
I trim my beard.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. Oil and everything, right? Do the whole shebang. But that's not important right now.
I suppose.
What I do want to do, instead of oiling our beard, is grease the wheels of competition. As we load in to our second map between OR and Team BreakThru. I was really hoping I could time it. Oh man.
They did that on purpose.
They did that on purpose 100%. Man.
I see how it is. Well, I have to tell you something, Rav. I lied. It won't be a mirror comp. Because you know why? There's 2 different instances. For OR, they don't like to play Sova. They go for the double initiator, usually in the past, the KO and the Fade. Plus, there's also the difference between Astra and Omen that Pure loves the play, and then Thief has been rocking the Astra quite a bit on almost every single map. So I'm curious to see, though, because the utility is so similar at face value at times, because you have smokes. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, Thief being able to use that utility just about anywhere on the map, the Gravity Well, the Nova Pulse, everything stacked up, there's a lot of instances here where we could see utility being stacked up and for a devastating anti-execute.
See, currently, who devastates who? I, for one, am personally excited to see Astra back again on Ascent, right? It's one of the few maps that I find teams still very comfortable playing with her. This Pearl and Haven is where I see her most often. But, usually you see the Astra Killjoy, but a Proto going back to Reliable on Cypher, and considering the buffs the Cypher has gotten, I'm not necessarily surprised, but the difference that will matter a ton will be what kind of differences the lockdowns make versus the value the tripwires and Nerdle Theft is able to garner.
Yeah, and you bring a really good point about the Sentinel differences here. I think for at least a Proto, having those tripwires gives Proto and the team a lot more freedom to kind of go for these mid-round lurks and maybe try to hunt down anyone that goes overly aggressive, and it allows a lot more flexibility for gigantic rotates.
It's especially with on the NS, of course, on the Omen as well, right? There's a lot more opportunities to have him set up for Zeldris too with the Paranoids and the Smokes. We've seen a fair amount of plays with that too, where both of them are now on site, but instead, it will be the two of them on A. And there's William tucked into a corner. Oh! Instead he shoots down, not up. Nilly peeks out and a right click to the head. Easy too. Now Brock as well now in trouble. He's trying to find his way into the site, and they choose to walk in through market, and the trades are immediately in OR's favor. Proto takes a chance and cannot dance anymore.
Yeah, good start for OR though, especially after the devastating end of Fracture. Starting off on a positive good foot. But I want to mention one thing too. This is actually a different team comp, very slightly from the last time OR had played Ascent. The only difference, no matter how big or small you may think it is, Leary actually used to play that Fade pick, but now swapping over to Silva, we can already see the immediate difference. Starting off with that 2-0, hunkering down B even more effectively to help out Nilly. I'm wondering how much of a trickle effect that could have to boost up the stats.
We'll see. As stack of being breakthrough, we've seen the Thrifties before and how they've almost pretty much managed to convert every single one of them. And last time it was that situation. But instead this time it's a bit harder to do so on Ascent with all the control and space that you can hold as a defensive team. And OR still staying pretty far back. Zelda's supposed to make first contact. That's one given over. No flash setup as well. Second peek not taken. A bloody shot will be his prize. And he moves out. But now they're gonna face up against Jonas 6. That's a free lineup. And this is a bowling alley. He got 3.
What's Brock to do? Last one alive, identified by the 0 point. His cover of the dark cover is now gone as well. You can see across the whole world. Killjoy trying to help out, but Zeldris on fire with the Marshall. A good 3K to shut down the entirety of BreakThru's attack. But to be expected, maybe. OR again, they've warmed up on their defense. You ready for a little bit of stats?
Of course, always. What's up?
All right. So OR, on their defense, is actually notoriously low so far in Challengers. They've only been able to convert half of their rounds in games before this. Now, that was only one map. But so far, they're proving it to be completely wrong. They've dominated the first 2 rounds, and Operator already in hand now. We'll have to wait and see, though, what impact it can find with the lack of KJ util in mid to play off of. Early Cyber Cage is out, but a Proto trying to bring out yet another one for safety. It's been hard to find that spacing.
With the buy up around here as well. Team BreakThru is looking to convert this, especially if they want a much more even game. But falling down here would mean essentially just giving away 4 rounds almost. And Zeldris now, let's take the peek. Oh, quick and efficient. Takes counterpart.
And after all that's done, right, the spike's not even anywhere near B. It was all a big fake potentially, now the lurk. It's up to Thief. Does he know about wine? The answer may be yes, but Zeldris is there just in case.
There's no cover here at all. It's wine and one up top.
Face.
He puts out the paranoia. Oh! But cannot convert it. Lear though takes no damage from this, but lies there to corner him. Now BreakThru. After the 3v4, of course the op is going to be the biggest challenge they have. But at least he gains some shallow control on the beast site. But not clearing out Nilly is likely going to be their downfall. And no side control. Up Pro. Yeah, that was the wall bang as well. And Proto's just stuck. There's so many opponents, he doesn't know where to look. And even Brock is tagged. Spike in hand, but he can't do nothing.
Yeah. Brock forced to save. Phantom, first rifle round that BreakThru could have. Saving the Phantom here is not a bad option. Everyone else may be on a somewhat broken buy into the next round, but at least then you have 1 rifle to work with. But let's talk about Zeldris for a second. The Operator shutting down the entry not once, but 2 different opportunities on 2 different sites. That was immaculate. 6-1 so far. And keep in mind, Thief has the utility to maybe drag away, you know, the positioning that Zeldris could have, but it's all about those reads. And we didn't get to see a lot of recon from the last game, but now with the double initiator again, BreakThru have an opportunity to find a lot more straight up info on OR, but We'll have to wait and see how effective that can be. Early 0 point goes down, but it doesn't spot Zeldris. Hiding on B main instead. A split push once more. A Proto going for the lurk, checking out mid side, hiding away for the potential rotate. No one's in tree though, at least not close.
A lot of not having to be
very
used.
appetizing.
VNS up top though, so they don't actually. I was gonna say after they clear him, this would have been a free 3, but 2 by the end, and only 1 taken by Team BreakThru. Can't land the final shot. And although a save, like we said, was imminent, but the 4-0 expected a completely different game from what we saw on Fracture.
Is it really a completely different game though? This is the same story, but the sides are reversed.
You're right, yeah. Opposites, right? Essentially, but same to same but different, as we say back in the day.
I mean, you're not wrong, though. It is different. You know, OR this time has that defensive prowess. They're able to gain the same amount of rounds in pretty much the same fashion that BreakThru did for their defensive on Fracture. And so it's the same struggle. Where's that initiation going to be? And the null command's a really good start.
Yep. 1 taken immediately, but there's still 1 more person on site. Make that 2. They're now gone. Oh, but Jonas pops out at the right time and makes things just slightly more even as a spike gets dropped. Zeldris now there, has his back. Frost doesn't connect on him either, but he sees 1. Oh, the smoke. That's beautiful timing. What a round by OR. They distract Team BreakThru's attention, and them popping out a market completely destroys their plans.
And that was an expensive round too. That was rifles from BreakThru. The null command was used. All of it just meant nothing. And now, in the reverse side, 6 rounds now just about to be in. Sim is 3-5, leading the charge for BreakThru. These push-ups into a site, a complete stall out no matter where you go. And yet this is the differential, right? Usually we see the Killjoy lag behind on the attack, but now without a Killjoy, the Cypher is on the lurk more aggressively, but it has no avail. It has no impact. Sim's looking for that aggressive play. The drop was heard.
Spike down mid.
So good. The double KO in the beginning there. Zeldris with the op to replenish everything though. 2 left alive. Nilly's just hiding in hell, letting the utility do the work. Spike's gone. Long lost.
Found them.
So far back that it's almost in a unrecoverable position, essentially. And after this Team BreakThru, we forced onto a save as well.
Enemy remaining.
Looking to save at least 2 guns if they can, but I do not think that is happening as of right now. Brock hopes to find 1. Hey, finds his, but he's on site by himself in a 1v3, and Spike is in mid. And Zeldris is watching him. He got through trees. That'll be it.
I mean, how many times can we talk about Zeldris, right? The reads on the op, I don't think he's missed a single shot yet. Even the shots that don't confirm into a kill. Remember, it was a Proto who was running down B lane and got wall banged even then. And BreakThru have to go for a timeout here. There's no other way.
Dude, this is the exact same pattern that we witnessed, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 6-0. A timeout happens, and then it was a 9-3 half by the end of it, but we'll see if Team BreakThru can, of course, change that. Currently, it's interesting because a lot of what BreakThru are doing currently just seems to not be working. Now, the one successful side take that they had where it was a lot of investment, right, it was pretty much just a fast push in, but because the Ash was lagging behind while they were clearing out the rest of the site, the spike gets dropped and nobody's up by Speedway. So the spike is essentially just, you have to pop up and go all the way around stairs, but since there's no control by market or by spawn, you're just stuck, leaving them in a really awful position where currently they hope to reconvene, you know, regroup, and see what they can find as we head into after the timeout.
I would even argue that for BreakThru, this might be even more of a challenge than when OR was in the same boat on Fracture. At least attacking on Fracture, you have 2 lanes to an extent to work with for the rotates or even pushing a site. But for Ascent, it's all essentially singular lanes. Or at least that's how the teams are treating it. And look at this util dump. right away. Sim is looking for that impact there. He finds the recon on one, but can't find the confirmation. Forced to back off. And they may rotate over to A, but that's the belly of the beast. Nilly's waiting behind that triple box for that turret to make its final strike.
Double walk in. Oh, but it's not enough. Caterpillar's got to be 3, and Nilly only saw 2, and he got 2 as well. Leaving 3 live for on the side after BreakThru. You're hoping this round they're able to come back, but guns no longer in their hands. The spray through the smoke is enough. And it's Brock. Brock against 5. There's no way getting in. There's no spike in hand. And he's hoping maybe he's gifted that. A flawless finally for OR.
There is a silver lining though for BreakThru. Between the attack and the defense, BreakThru's attacking win percentage is far, far lower than their defense. So even though these attacking rounds haven't looked as polished as we had seen on Fracture, their defense, they've won 72% of the rounds. And that's a far higher percentage than their attack. It's a good start. Well, it's not a great start for BreakThru, but it's not out of the woods just yet. But for OR, this is a great leadway into maybe map 3.
Nice traded by A-main to each tag one another. And even gonna use the drone to actually early clear any sort of close angle as well. Like, that's the kind of conditioning that I expected and to finally be implemented outside of OR. But the one way barely lands. VNS gets 1. Hunter's Tree is well to clear out trees. Second tag not to be had. Oh, barely finds Jonah. Now because 1 for 1, Paranoia is traded, but they finally have space to walk in on site. The shot misses, but Thief actually does a wallbang by the end. You saw how low he was. The shorty connects. The spike is dropped once again. Not a 2v2. Zeldris knows he has to carefully play it. Oh, but a close angle. And a Proto finally gives Team BreakThru their first round.
After 8 rounds, finally won in their favor. And that was still down to the 1v1. Luckily though, Spike went to the ground. They won the round. Economy, a little bit more in their favor now, but not by much. If this next round converts into OR's favor again, we'll go back to square one. Back to broken buy. Back to thrifty usage. Stingers, sheriffs, whatever you can muster up. Zeldris returning back with the operator as well, holding down mid site. And BreakThru has been playing around with mid a little bit more than other teams, but Zeldris hasn't really been able to find that impact. In fact, he runs away towards B main. Or does he?
I mean, he chills, he waits, but Proto was there. On the angle, punches the main, and now instead with Nilly again getting 2. How does that keep happening? And Thief is left. He's detained. He has to watch his life and the round pass him by. Man, by the time he's gotten his gun, there's no spike. So the objective is lost. The plot is not clear. And Leia tells everybody, yo, I know you here.
8-1. The op back in Zeldris' favor. We talked about square one, and here we are. A single rifle to work with. Only a few more rounds left in the half. And again, like you mentioned, we had seen 9-3 for Fracture, but I just don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see that 9-3 come out here. Now there is the divide. There is also neural theft, possibly that BreakThru could use. Not all is lost for gathering space for a site, but they have to choose wisely about where Nilly's util could be. Split push is called. Attempted rotate, maybe. Zeldris playing it safe. Pure's gonna go through the spray, through the cyber cage, and yet no one's there.
Yeah. They'll even force all the util by mid with the dart and the knife as well. So they're still in the corner. And now they have the space mid, but oh my god! If it's not Lear, it's oh man. If it's not Lear, it's Nilly. If it's not Nilly, it's Lear. These attempts at B have been thwarted so much, but it's Sim now in a 1v1. The knives are in hand. It's Op v Knives. Will you get shot? Oh, It seems as though Zeldris is not in the mood for any sort of cutlery today.
So many 4Ks in this series and not a single ace just yet. Maybe it's us, Rav. Maybe we're the reason why no one can get an ace.
You know what? If it is, I at least love reasoning, so to add to more of my understanding, but watch this, man. This is so nasty how he just double headshots, right, on the entry, and now it just leaves Sim to try to clean up, but in the air, the drop shot goes down. Got Team
Round's
OR.
already started. Oh my. Look at the spike. It's not picked up at all by BreakThru. Maybe looking to have that late game rotation. Keep in mind, Thief is Astra, so you can use that utility just about anywhere. So he can stay far behind and apply that pressure towards A.
Yeah.
As that spike makes its way dangerously into mid. Maybe the split push. Maybe a mid exec. There's no alarm bot present at all in mid. In fact, there's no players or even utility for OR. And yet Team BreakThru are opting to go B main once again.
Cooling down.
They play it slow.
Interesting enough, I would expected the dart and the knife again by a mid. Now with the Astro Wall in their hands, dart is really not used by Lear. They're all corner B main. He knows that with no tags being given over, they luckily made it through. So now in a precarious position, mid was flashed, and Lear had to pick a 50-50 on the side. What a shot from Thief! And at least allow them to finally get the spike down in what feels like the first plant in years.
I forgot you could plant in this game. But even then, Thief, good to convert at least one more. It's up to Pure, the last one alive, but as I say that, he falls. 2 rounds for BreakThru. And the reality of a 3-9 half comes back again. All it takes is one more round. Nilly has been a superstar this matchup. 15-6, playing the same exact game a Proto themselves had done in the previous map. Holding down the site, never letting go, anchoring, being a true force of the site to allow no one on the attack to push out. But the stack up towards A has been called. Maybe a little bit of a mid presence too from Cypher. Outside, this big stack up again. The 0 point doesn't connect. He finds no info, but the null command is huge.
Yeah.
This is a big, fast exec.
And all the util down, but a trade comes out. Jonah starts flyer, but they gotta somehow find a way to clear it out towards the back of the site and put the support. It's Zeldris to get the final in a 1v3 is
Last player standing.
left a Proto up top. And not moves into the side. It's all fine currently, but the smokes are enough, and they know they can't move in. The neural theft would be big here to ping them out, and they're both stuck at the back.
Spike goes down.
He's also pinged though. Oh, and they just rush at him. They just rush him.
That recon bolt's all you needed. That single piece of utility showing through the walls exactly where he was gonna be. No hesitation, 2 HP in a dream for Zeldris. And I gotta say, this half was a wild roller coaster. The scoreline might be far apart, but again, we did see some 1v1s towards the very end. High mechanical prowess, but these defensive sentinels, this entire series has been the absolute MVP, the absolute stars of the show. Nilly especially here on Ascent, just hunkering down A, making sure almost nobody could ever push up. And who could forget Zeldris, that beautiful tracking there on that final shot. But this has not been a good look for BreakThru. But there is that silver lining. That BreakThru does have a better shot at winning their defensive rounds, at least historically. That being said though, OR, they have about a 20% increase in their attacking round wins too. It's a battle of the ages here. 3 stacked up outside mid, and yet the pop shots from Nilly don't connect with much. No utility at all besides that turret. Not a single piece of flank watch util that OR can rely on, even if it is just a pistol round. Everyone on BreakThru, they're divided out, holding each other's backs at least towards mid. Not so much for A or B though. Ellie might be walking into a trap. looking to push up. Nilly's there, has a rough idea about that pizza angle, but Sim and company, they're playing that dangerous game. Anything could happen here. The turret now out of the range for Nilly. Has to make that first shot. The leg appeared and Sim takes down Nilly. The KJ now lost. The exec may be called here, but it's a slow trickle for OR to push in the site. The rotate around from BreakThru. They have the body advantage, looking to maybe find the next impact towards the B-main connector. But no, Fly has that in 0 point. The 0 point soon to come out. A wealth of information could be gained, especially because the dark cover blocks out his angle, but Zeldris pushes in. Thief is there, and Jonah falls. But even then, the bodies, they go back and forth. But it's OR only down to 1. It's Pure to be on site, but he has a problem. It's going to be Sova on the other side, but he can't worry about that just yet. He needs to get the spike.
They need this. They need this so bad.
They do.
And spike is recovered, though, but 10 seconds left. Like you're saying, he's out. And BreakThru. A crucial pistol round to sting. What a start off, Max.
You know, it's just like we said on Fracture. Probably one of the most important rounds of this entire series. That marks 2 now. Where the pistols could very well be that pendulum turn that we were looking to see. Now, the buy-ups are huge here from BreakThru, especially Sim. On Marshall in hand, Zeldris had done the same. And remember how that goes. He got a 3K off of Catwalk. And it's looking like OR wants to repeat history, possibly by stacking up outside of A. But instead, this is an aggressive push. BreakThru recognize they need that aggression as much as they humanly can to get the numbers up and the money down for OR. And they do so with Brock taking down the lurking Zeldris.
And they say that history, but right now for Team BreakThru is if you are them. Give them a bit more space. And a lead outside, a free orb will be taken, so no real damage exactly traded between them. But a person lead is something that Team BreakThru, I'm sure, will covet. This is a 4-person push through CAD.
Oh, but look at Sim. This perfect angle here could repeat what Zeldris had done on their own defense.
Backs up. No smoke for cover, no real flashes here either. So it has to look to catch the dash. And it's just going to wait. Oh, pops out. Nice shot. And one more for the cover. Fly takes 2 handily. But, although the molly was nice, but Team BreakThru, with them all being there, they can more.
It was a shutdown again. And now, even despite, well, I'm actually standing corrected. I was going to say, despite that, though, we get to see the buy-up from OR, but I should have been focusing on BreakThru. They're buying up all the same, despite not having a bonus here except for Thief. We already see Odin and an Operator coming out. That's going to make both sites completely lethal for OR, especially if they overextend and push up so fast at the beginning of the round. But there's very little util on A. Zeldris doesn't care, though.
And nor should he. So just as of right now is Beasley Coffrey's walking to the site, no smokes, but off the flashes. But interesting enough, Jonah 6 falls before they even make the full entry on site. It's a 4v5 and no big ultimates to play with just yet.
Keep an eye on that Operator, though, and the Odin play, especially that Hell has made itself known. Sim on the other side, good for 1.
He's walking in with 2 behind him, the Odin up top. They're both just trading angles and looking towards one side to the other. And it's as simple as that. Team BreakThru. 3 rounds in a row. And it's just over the half.
And that was the buy-up round for OR2. They've gone back in the thrifty territory. A flawless nonetheless. And now, BreakThru, despite having a flawless defense thus far, still have to double the rounds they need to even just catch up to OR. For OR, they just need 3 rounds, and they'll be good for map 3. If Team BreakThru can make this even up again, he could be having a pretty good indicator of who makes it to the top 4.
I mean, considering with 2 in front of them, they've got 5 rounds to be able to make that so. And I know if you OR, will make it so that not this, or they do not even one more than this. Right. It's a long way to get ascension though, but mid control's taken, yeah.
Oh, but that tripwire could tell the entire story, and it does. One discovered, a Proto forced to back off.
And because he was actually watching it, he goes down. That's what it said. Now, a Proto himself walks in. Oh, but the paranoia is enough. Brock is up against 3, picks one angle, but he picks wrong. The 50-50 goes haywire. And now Stephen 1v2. Back in the gun, not just yet. Watch him be main. And Zealous is on site. He tucks in a boathouse, but so does Thief. And as he peeks out, pass double. Zealous will clutch the round.
Wow. What just happened? That was so much in BreakThru's favor up until Brock went down. The Odin play, it looked so good. Sim caught off guard from behind, all because of a single nanoswarm forcing the reposition of a Proto. It was a trickle effect and a lethal one at that. And it looks like OR may want to try to recreate history a little bit. I don't know if they're going to go for mid yet again, now that we see a lot more of a stack up from Sim and company. But if that's that B exec again, there's a lot prepped up for, especially the double cyber cage that we saw for the one-way.
This peek out those could be huge if Sim manages to get
Sim.
even at least one. Because the Odin, at least on their side, it could be big, but
Here.
the spray is not forcing them to back off.
You should run.
It's just allowing them to at least spread out a little bit. Sees one. Oh, shot goes wide. And now they know at least where the op is. Lots are not planted as well. So Team BreakThru has to give up the sight. And the second mark as well. As we all look to walk in, a ton of chip damage. That's all it is. A shock dart, though, will be the one to execute Jonah before they walk in.
Spike planted.
And look how disenfranchised OR are. 2 inside B main, 2 left on site, completely sandwiched out. The paranoia is good, the stall, but for how long?
The dart as well connects, and now the wall gets put up as it's split apart most of sight. Lear alongside Nelly too, looking to walk in, but Sim gets one in the back end. Stuck on. They have to walk in some way somehow. Excellent stuck with 3 health and 12. Is all that remains. Walks in, 3 bullets, and he takes it. He saw him too. He says, no. I gotta prep myself emotionally.
Oh, Thief's ult was so good until it wasn't in that 1v2. The recon bolt could have been the saving grace, but the pressure of timing of that defuse was far too much. 11-6 now, the only round. Well, we've only had 1 round for OR to win, but BreakThru, they've re-brought it back a little bit more. 6-11, another defuse called. And look at the buys from OR, it's broken. Only a single rifle on board. And I'm wondering, will that null command be used here to shut down on a broken buy? The turret's already gone and Sim is there. Op's been identified. And yet with the dark cover, he's forced to rotate back out.
I'll just very early. Gets 1 tagged. Second almost connecting onto Lear. It's that enough flyer. Looks to hold it off angle. And now gets Joe for 6. And he dashes in to Flyer's line of sight. A 3 for 2 by the end of it, and a classic to get it over OR. Also tough buys on their side. A Sim. Oh, that was a no-look shot! A headshot, mind you, on VNS. What? My God. Lear's got it. Switches up the Odin. It's 1v2. They made this round expensive for Team BreakThru. And it's gonna be a matter of possibly clutching it out. It's up top of the angle. Lear takes him, Odin gone. And now it's 1v1. A Proto versus Lear. The spike will go down. And Proto will opt to go with the door angle. He has no dart. He walks straight in and just takes the fights. Big man Proto with the big stash, clutching the round.
I cannot believe what we just watched. No scope headshot with it up. And a Proto clutching it up. 4 rounds left now for BreakThru to bring it back to an even game. Let's see that replay again. I can't believe that.
Oh my God.
No way.
What was that, man? Just,
That's the best play we've seen in open quals.
I mean, it was cool, I will admit. I'm not ready to call it the best play just yet, but
Okay, fine. It was the coolest play.
it was impressive nonetheless. But hey, what matters right now is that OR got to recollect. Giving it almost 5 rounds of the defense, right? Because last time they saw a timeout for themselves, you know, they were able to get one and slowly make some rounds back. They're 2 away from taking us to our first map 3 here on stream. And for Team BreakThru, 5 rounds remain for potentially taking it all the way.
And it's not even just one factor that you have to consider when it comes to BreakThru. For OR, they're being shot down by just about every player. I mean, Sim, fantastic shot with the op. And I mean, just we could trickle through the entire list. The Proto's been great about stalling out of sight. And yet there's been no effective lane, any way for map pressure to be gained in OR's favor. No matter how much they try, the different lanes they take, the tempo, all of it has been shut out round after round. It took a matter of chaos for 1 round in order for OR to convert 1 round. But even then, BreakThru, they immediately came back with not 1 but 2 different defuses. It's these spike plants, the retakes of a site BreakThru have been so good with. And it doesn't even feel like a retake. It's just the consistent pressure of a site. And yet there's nobody on A except for Tree. The 0 point may have found little, but they're ready for the exec.
A close smoke at the entrance of A, allowing them to walk into the site as well. Using it from their shadows for the information, so moving so far back towards B, realizing that B side is open, they've drawn all their attention, and left to walk in. Zeldris takes 1, a big pick off on Thief. Right through a walk, try to waltz it away into the rest. The ping is nice, but it won't matter to anybody else. Peeks out, and they have every single moment of the site on lockdown. Team BreakThru didn't even see them coming.
Are shut down there, and it all came down to, I wouldn't say hero plays, but a lot of individual 1v1s from OR. Zeldris, especially this deep lurk into A site, trying to force out the rotates from BreakThru, collapsing upon the enemy, taking the unknown fights that BreakThru weren't expecting to have. And now here it comes, Ravish. Any round now could be the deciding factor of whether or not we go to map 3.
No
For
shot,
OR,
we
it's
see a
1 round.
13-7 again, right? 2 rounds in a row.
No shot. Maybe.
Eh?
We'll have to wait and see. Look at that spike, though. It's not picked up at all. There's no clear dedication for OR just yet. They're looking for that opening pick. Maybe judge from there. And the respect that BreakThru's giving outside of Sim. All holding for those angles, waiting for that slow push-up. But Sim now doesn't have the one way to work with, but can't really rotate off. There's no info about the other side of that wall. Now, again, the gift of hindsight, we know that no one's around Sim. Could be free to rotate away. But B-side has a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, 2 people there though. And Brock choosing to spray on Win, heard a step, but Dart immediately shot out. And now him and a Proto have to find a way to slow them down. Block around left with 15 bullets to flash in. Oh, a Proto luckily makes it back to support his homie. Now the rest also left on the outside. B main becomes a bloodbath. And Team BreakThru hold. But Spike is still in OR's possession.
And they know exactly where the last 2 of OR are left alive. Waiting for that rotate now, Sim once again goes for the hiding maneuver.
30 seconds
Every
left.
angle needs to be checked. Despite having the 5-round lead, you can't squander them away. Oh, is that a judge?
1 enemy
Nah,
remaining.
it's the jury. It's the executioner. Good for 1. Cloudburst back out. Reposition, and Nilly's left on an island. Nowhere to go. Spike is lost. Good for at least 1. There's still 3 more to deal with. 13 seconds left on the clock.
10
Spike is
seconds
dropped
left.
though. It's 9 seconds now left. And Anelli is just looking to get at least get some guns out of their hands, if anything. Or at least save his. They have no idea that he's right behind the boxes. And they know, round is 4 gone. 360 doesn't work out. And an almost ace again. All those guns taken away. But Team BreakThru will gladly take another round.
It's been a big challenge here for OR. 8 to 12, 4 more rounds left. Again, these wild plays that OR need to use for their executes. It's been so difficult. And yet, the response, it's still becoming a close game at times. Vandals are galore, a single Odin from Brock, a stack up towards A yet again.
They have lockdown available on OR's side. They're 1 away from the wall. as well on breakthrough. So while previously was used to great execution to just stop and be able to take back a site and be able to get a defuse off of that as well. But here this, whoa! A bold and brazen play from Sim. The flash to get him out. He's still holding. I ducks in past the door.
You should run.
But through this OR, they found enough space and they make themselves comfortable outside of A. But they're watching Sim, not expecting them to be that close. They're fine. Tank goes down.
Oh, but Thief gets hit by the detain. 8 seconds out of commission. A 3v4 essentially, trying to get back onto the site, but everyone for OR off site. No, there is Nilly on that lurk. A great sandwich maneuver. Zeldris could be good for one here. The random spray.
Spraying, watching. Oh! Thief! Timing. That was big. Now again, it's still 3 people left on site. Jonas gets spotted though, but they don't see Nilly coming to wine. This could be a massive flank where Proto's waiting. Spots him, the wall bang, and he's the one who comes out on top, but they're defusing. It's at half. They can't stop this, but it's just Nilly for trying to do so. All you gotta do is peek out, running out of time. The shot to the dome, and because it is at half, breakthrough survive for another round.
A 3-round difference now, inching closer and closer. The buys again are scarce from breakthrough, but at least they can muster something up. OR though, they've been building up that economy, but they themselves have not been in the best situation. These slow rounds, the late executes have been working out to clear out that space. But again, it's been so difficult for any attacking team to make their way onto a single site of ascent for the entirety of open quals. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. The turret's back down, watching for those rotates yet again for the potential anti-flank. Not a single presence now except for outer smokes. And Flyer, regardless of the smoke in Catwalk, still takes down Zeldris.
That's a huge pick off at the beginning because that was knives on their side as well. Zeldris could have been a menace with it as he had been previously. Sim using both updrafts, spotting nobody there. But currently, still choosing to peek around, likely spotted one. Being Nilly. But look at this crossfire they have here. If one falls, the other will, but Fly might be spotted. So they walk the way in. Jordan sees him. Oh man, oh man. Fly is taken to the skies. A 4 for him. And now that'll leave just Nilly left by himself. The ace is possible, definitely, but improbable as he's looking to save.
Yep. No spike, no team, only Nilly. No space created. Back exactly where he had started and spawned. 36 seconds left to wait out the clock. Full control of the entire map for breakthrough. It's up to the hunt now, but who will take the risk? Where could Nilly be? Everyone's watching every lane, but this Killjoy's hiding somewhere. And if you can remove the economy from the table, at least then, if you don't go for it, deny the death bonus. But Nilly, just waiting for someone to overextend, overheat, but little does he know it's someone else on the other side of the map looking to go in for this grandiose push, a gigantic sandwich. But they've triangulated where he might be. His final play, he spotted.
Strafe shot, does he get this? No, our pro picks the safer play. He runs instead. I respect it.
12-10. These slow rounds again have worked out so beneficially in Fly's favor. We saw this yesterday on Ascent 2. Every engagement ending with 1, 2, or in the case of Flya, 4 different kills in a single, what felt like a spray. But it's only been 2 rounds now for OR. A null command and team breakthroughs end in case they find that fast exec, but no. Instead, Flya's on the other side of the map. It won't be used until potentially that spike goes down. But there's a lot of util outside of B to worry about. And OR, they're opting not to go for either. This could be the first mid play we've seen in such a long time.
Definitely so, but with the tripwire there, they would have to effectively give away the position that this is where they want to put pressure, but Neil takes spot really big. Oh, Jonas gets spotted. I spotted the change up, but the 103 gets put out decently early to get some space on site. Now Proto knows he has to look, he has to watch mid. Spotted by the dart. And Brock covering Proto on the other. Have not been able to make the a couple of as Brock once again gets for this, looks for this, does not get him though. So 3v3.
3v3. 48 seconds left. Spike control in the hands of OR. They just need this final round to bring it to map 3. But it's a complete denial from BreakThru. One left alive turns into 0. Thief good for 2. Another defuse. And what was once a huge scoreline differential. Now a single round between map 3 and maybe overtime for BreakThru to take this series 2-0. This is the biggest comeback we've seen in the entirety of Open Quals. It sets the standards of what we want to see. And my god, our team BreakThru fighting tooth and nail with these defuses.
1 round remains between this and OT for Team BreakThru. Small advantage given over, but only 2 rounds on the defense. That is it. So it seems like if you do get to OT, it'll be a question of who gets the defensive round first. And right now for OR, they're banking it all here because their bye next round, if they lose this, is going to look rough. Well, it'll be OT, so it won't be one. Should be fine.
Keep in mind too, historically speaking, BreakThru is much better on the defensive side. It just takes one more round to keep that fact to be proven. The sniper scope waiting down to see who overextends. The KJ Molly. That's blind.
Sim. Oh, op shot goes wide. There's a lot of stuff there too, so nothing allowed in the entry. He's big. Slim match gets Zeldris. That's one more shot to be taken. Jordan 6 is gone. This is huge. Only 2 members left for esports. And we're going to OT.
I never thought we'd see the day. The first overtime in Open Quals, at least on our stream. 12-12. And like you said, Ravis, the battle for defense. As long as you can maintain the prowess that both teams have had so far, all it takes is that one attacking round. The complete shutdown for Ascend. Lock and key, throw it away for both these teams thus far. But BreakThru back on the attacking side. It might be a chance for difficulty. We'll have to wait and see. Zeldris taking the risky maneuver here. No armor whatsoever, full util, and having the operator in hand. Looking defensively again down mid. Full dedication for Nilly, covering all the utility on B site, reading the play perfectly from BreakThru.
This is where it all starts here. OR now finally switching over. But right now for Team BreakThru, it made the run to the site, has all the kills to util. The concuss was nice, but now once again, as I look towards the back of Nilly, Lear's good for 1. They're stuck on site. It's just shots being traded. That's all that's left.
2v2.
2v2 is big. Shock dart. Oh, but it moves against him. Catches such solid timing. He can't even plant at this point.
Oh, yes, he can. The plant goes down, but what after? The entire site paper mache. Perfect for the Odin.
Sees him. One more. Brock puts it out. He has 100 Fury as well. This could be so big, but because he's stuck towards the back of the site, he does not know where to go. And he's almost in front of him. He heard the drop, saw the shot, and VNS! They finally get around for themselves. OR goes up 1.
A single play, a single round, 1 body left. OR. Through the skin of their teeth, they're able to convert the defuse. Now, overtime match point. They need 1 more round yet again to bring things to breeze. That's easier said than done. Because it's the attacking side they have to go to next. 29-17 for Nilly, an all-star game. And I'm nervous for this attack.
Oh,
A very different play from what we're used to, Rav. It's the inverse. Heavy mid-presence.
Back and forth we go, my friend. Just leaving
Sim.
seconds in between. Sim, Flash. If he's blind, he doesn't know. He has no idea. Doesn't get spotted, and now he does. Forced to back away. The setup was nice, but now they have every bit of information they can need. He still gets the flick. Reposition. Now tucked into a corner. Flyer's gone. No flash setup. Second can't get it. But Brock, the savior, 3v3.
The 3v3, the minor reset. Spike still in the hands of OR. It's up the Thief though. Hiding away. trying to find whatever angle he can over this dark cover.
Oh,
spike
the
goes
spray!
down.
That's the spike! That's so huge! They've had this leave it abandoned.
But the
Molly
forced
shot
to
him.
reposition.
He has 5
The
bullets.
Molly's destroyed.
They get it! Spike down. Plan to come in a couple of seconds. They're fine. They're moving up. He has to save this. He can't get it though. Transfer doesn't work. It's just Nilly in a 1v3. And Nilly now left. They get the tag. He's spotted. He's gone. Double OT, baby.
Oh man, now here's the big question, Rav. How many rounds of OT do you think we'll have?
Nope. Nope.
No?
I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. I will simply watch as a spectator and be amazed.
Yeah. I see how it is. I mean, look, it's a battle of the defense. Again, both these teams have been able to go for these really delicate retakes. And it's been so close to the wire. It seemed that Thief had that spike under full control. But all it takes is a minor play. That single KJ Molly again, repositioning the enemy. Forcing them away. Zell just returns again, up in hand. No utility, no armor, excuse me. And they're defaulting away. Still not much of a presence in mid, possibly the beginning of this round. We'll have to wait and see. But look at OR. They're all floating between sites, or at least 2. They're getting so much respect for BreakThru to push into the site. And yet, there's been nothing. The cyber cage goes down. A free camera placement for a proto to see the outwards angles, possibly towards B, but nothing's there. Pure has a great angle. Look at this. The top of brick off of the KJ turret could be huge.
No way.
Not only a double contact, right? But you're looking at maybe a quadruple if you count in the turret.
This is rough here because now as a position towards A, you know, you have pure VNS on angle that he was in before. He was able to get 2 off the last time. The Killjoy's almost a full setup is right outside, encircling the point. As is now most of the OR squad. They made their way in. And out through here, with 40 seconds left, Team BreakThru just has to carefully walk in. Likely be off of a flash. There's the hour drone that gets shot out though. Fly is gone. VNS is still hiding because of the smoke. It's huge. This play works again for OR. And now they got 20 seconds. They almost have here, but look at this. They're walking back mid. They can try to make it through B.
BreakThru were forced to scatter. The double push onto the side, but what they don't know is Zeldris has an operator holding down the far back lane, and there it is! No rotate over to A!
One enemy.
It's the 1v1! The operator through the box! It's Brock there! The
No
spike!
time.
Is there time? No! So little time! One survivor! OR again, facing possibly map 3, a single round needed. But guess what? They're back to attack.
OR barely, and I say once again, barely clutches that out, but what was a huge play there by the end. Team BreakThru left on the back foot. It's been round after round after round. They just timed them out. But the cheese,
Oh no. A proto.
that upper angle, it's okay, I'll get it. But the upper angle from VNS works twice in a row for themselves. See what OR
Keep in
do.
mind too, Sim has that operator. The back of A. Less aggressive than what we had seen Zeldris do the same. Oh, he eventually rotated back to the back of B. Look at this util though. This tripwire is gigantic. This has been a great play from OR before, based off this tripwire. I don't know if magic can repeat itself twice.
They caught them last time with this, and now, yeah, through that, they slow walk in, they shoot it out, and look at this, they're moving all the way around. Sim, I'm gonna catch one here. One goes down, the second flyer trades it. He reads the push in, and that's a spike abandoned by the other side of spawn. Flyer stay alive here. He's good for one more. It's triple OT.
Next time, mind the heavy.
How many 4Ks has Fly gone in tree? That's the flyest spot now. Holy.
Overtime.
But OR had learned their lesson. When they approached that tripwire in relegation and they had chose to go through market to B, they were shut down heavily. But they had learned, or so it seemed. They went to the back of spawn for the defense instead. And even then they were still shut down. And here we are again. Another set of OT. OR back to the defense. Another jet, another up, another day. What could the difference this time for BreakThru be? Early Cyber Cage goes down. Zeldra's not having a clean angle anymore for anyone to push up, but it allows a free safety for the camera. And yet not a piece of util for BreakThru has been seen.
The knife goes deep, but nobody gets spotted, so they can assume that mid is please safely, but our drone gets shot out. But it does. The entire kill just set up alongside the molly, so if Sim walks in, he'll be forced to essentially dash through and go up against Jonah and Nilly.
Oh, but the call's been made. There's no utility at all inside of mid. What a great lesson learned yet again from the enemy team. The push through the logs. It's pure there for the initiation.
Again! It can't keep happening again! DNS on an off angle, but now it's 2-2. They finally had time to plant. It's possible.
It's slow. It's a crawl. And Thief has the ultimate. Dividing out everything. Watching both lanes. No info at all. BreakThru may have a recon bolt, but that's the best they can do.
5 seconds.
No.
For the little recon bolt, as you were saying.
A shock dart.
Doesn't connect. All walking was 1. Oh, the wall bang is there. It's just Jonah 6. But he wins it. Finds his spray. Knows where Brock is. Shot doesn't connect. He tucks behind the wall. It's Brock. The jump shot. Nothing to be had here. And he peeks out. Brock to take it. Once again, when the team needs him most. Big man Brock.
Match point.
Thanks.
Brock bringing BreakThru to 15-14. The pendulum swung has gone back in their favor once again. All this time, it was OR who've had that small minor chance of having the point lead. But now 15-14. BreakThru now on the coveted defense. It's been flawless for any team that's gone defense so far for overtime. It's up to OR to break the curse yet again by winning their own first attacking round. And look how slow everything is. Nerves are rising. OR a point away from losing out the entire series. And they go slow. The slow crawl.
There's
towards
3
the top
by A.
cat.
There's double by tree. You're definitely looking for likely a flash setup or a smoke, if anything, to stop them. A paranoia is even better. Oh, but they don't know about Thief for the close angle. The double stack works out, but now they have to see how they can possibly try to get more off of this. OR has to capitalize, perhaps, but Team BreakThru, might have seen one. Sim with a beautiful shot, but Spike is still planted. That'll suck by Jenny.
Sim is blocked out. Needs the Owl Drone to help with the reconnaissance. At least spots one.
It's just foolish. But to find someone by heaven, a poor drops in, and he gets dropped out. But one more in, the shot dart finally connects. And it took rounds. They were down by 8. Round by round, it will be Team BreakThru to go to finals.
One heck of a series to end it all right there for the open quals. Good gravy. I mean, what a comeback. 9-1 at one point. But BreakThru, they didn't let it slip through their fingers, tooth and nail, every round, one adventure at a time, bringing it back. Our first overtime for open quals on the mainstream, and I mean, hopefully many more to come. But what an exhilarating match. Fly a double 4Ks back-to-back on tree. This is what we want for Valorant.
This is right here is what makes games so phenomenal. This is what I wanted out of this, and this is something that makes my heart smile, Max. With a game like this, it truly astounds me and shows me that, you know, Ascension is something